We know a little bit about the city,
Mm-hmm.
and we know a little bit about this person.
Correct.
So we should be able to interpolate in which part of the city to look for him.
Yes. And the question is, therefore, if you're going to use this in a skillful way, remembering your training about Blue City, for example, and trying to get around it, you would be using talent.
Hmm.
Um, yeah.
That sounds smart.
Hmm. I should
There is
point.
this bullet point that says target +1, talent +1, instinct. What
Right. That
does
means that
that mean?
if your heart rate, which currently is at your starting, right? Currently
Oh,
you're at your
okay.
resting heart rate. If your heart rate gets into that range, then you can improve two of your attributes by what's listed.
Okay,
Right. And then you will be rolling different dice for them.
makes sense.
Right.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Then let's start with the basics. Use
Mm-hmm.
talent and try to figure out where to go to try and find him.
Mm-hmm.
10.
Okay. So the first thing you need to know,
So,
right, is that you add 10 to your heart rate,
yeah.
and you will also get 10 challenge points. You don't all they're not always equal, but they happen to be equal at this point. And so that's the first thing. And the sort of narration of it all is left mainly to me, unless you do what's called a risk factor, where you have to make two rolls instead of one, and you'll get lots more challenge points and things like that, and heart rate. But you also can describe a special and extra success with it. So um, otherwise, I'll just say what happens. As you can see, somebody was reading the pool when they did that. Right.
I didn't say that.
Right.
You did.
Uh-huh.
Um, I'll start slow.
Mm-hmm.
So go ahead and
Mm-hmm.
talk.
Okay. So I'm going to say that you remember that you can go to one of the bus stations, and there's a little city map there, and there's a little and which is different. I mean, you've been briefed on the city map, and you realize now that it always looks a little different. And so it's good to check out the city map. And the important thing about it too is the bus can take you anywhere, almost. And that you and the and the bus lines are graded blue and deep blue, and then there's the you notice that there's a black line, like there's the blue, the deep blue, bus lines, and then there's a black bus line, but there's no black bus route on the map. It just gives the times of the black line of the bus, but there's no, it doesn't say where it goes on the map. But the important point is that you know that there's a place where there's an area where people will go to, ride their motorcycles and cluster in groups. And this is an area of Blue City that is considered kind of where uh, where tough people would go to have a good time or do business. So you can take the bus there. Now, the other thing that I will also point out is that you know that there are dangers, probably not in this blue labeled area, but there are dangers in Blue City. You're always supposed to be keeping an eye out for these Spider-Man people. There's a mysterious girl who seems associated with the Lacuna that would be wonderful to find out more about, if possible. Um, and you can always call for control, if you want to talk to them and get some advice and understand a little bit more about what you're doing and why. Um, Agents are deliberately told as little as possible so that they don't mess up the dream when they're in there for themselves, if they change the city for themselves. terrible things can happen and they'll find themselves in classified areas and stuff. So, Henna, any thoughts on what to do? You guys have an, if you want to go to that district, you can.
No, I mean, it sounds fine. It sounds
Mhm.
reasonable. Like, if we know about the bad guy, like maybe, I don't know, some hobbies.
Mhm.
I don't know if they concepts, whatever. Like maybe that could be something they want to seek out, like in this place too. So I think we definitely should follow there, and we need to make contact with the person, or at least locate at first. So I'm okay with going with bus.
Sure. So the bus driver is a very strange individual compared to all the other very normal, almost movie level normal people that you've seen so far. This is a woman who's wearing one of those clown wigs, right, with the big round hair that clowns wear, and a rubber nose. And so when you come in, she waves to you and acts like a bus driver.
Are there other people on the bus?
Yes, a couple of other people. There are people sitting on the bus already, and the if you want to attend to them or try and get a sense of them in some intuitive way, then you would want to roll instinct.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
10.
Okay. The result. Again, it will give you the result again will give you 10 to your heart rate and 10 challenge points. You may be moving into your target heart rate now. I'm not sure.
I did.
Okay, and so the what you see is that many of the most of the passengers are seated facing inward, along the side seats that are facing inward. And they don't seem to be doing anything interesting or be interested in you, except for one who's seated facing the front of the bus. And you quickly realize, or get the impression for a moment anyway, that the person's face um, seems to have a multitude of black eyes instead of two human eyes. And they very quickly put up their newspaper. So you look over there, you see that, but it's almost impossible to be sure because they just put the newspaper up, and now all you see is the top of their hat.
What did the handbook say about encountering hostile agents?
So what you are interested in what it means to spot or be contacted by a Spider-Man. They will often interrogate mystery agents, or that said that they will reported that they have interrogated mystery agents, and that they are extremely, extremely dangerous if you are violent or hostile toward them. They will basically, shoot you and you'll have a heart attack. So the you at Blue security clearance have been told to note any activities that you spot, but do not engage. That's your orders.
So I'm going to very obviously ignore them.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I see. Mm-hmm. All right. So Henna, any thoughts on any activities? Remember, you guys call for the rolls. I will never say make an instinct roll, for example.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I'm thinking about the bus driver. Like, is this because, like, I mean, I got an impression that like everyone else looks like, I don't know, normal sounds
Right.
really rude word, but you know, like not standing out that
I
much.
would say
So
almost unrealistically normal, if that makes any sense. Right. Whereas,
yeah. I
yes, but
mean,
this
like,
person this is not too unusual. Blue City
okay.
it is possible that there are personalities in Blue City that are not actually representative of somebody's actual personality. That there may be thinking beings or characters who have grown to exist in the collective unconscious and have no human analog in the real world. And they tend to be very colorful or quirky or interesting or dreamlike. Uh-oh. Did I lose everybody? No? Okay.
No.
So this is not the only weird person you've seen, but it's very likely that they are one
Okay.
of these natives, if you will, to Blue City.
Yeah. So basically, like, it's a feature,
Right.
and nothing.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You know. Okay. Well, fine. In that case, no, it's yeah. No, maybe I can start theorizing in my head about the you know, these are aliens.
Right. Yeah.
To us.
That would make a lot of sense, because where else would these personalities come from?
Yeah. Or
Okay.
something, you know, like just in my mind, like I don't know, I haven't seen any Spider-Man because
right.
I didn't do that, but like and everyone seems normal, so it's just like to pass some time
Sure.
making this own theories.
Excellent.
While I don't know where we are heading.
Well, the
like,
bus is traveling through different parts of Blue City. You'll actually go across a bridge, so over some body of water, and you will note that as people are, if the bus makes a stop, when the doors open, there's a darker, it seems darker outside than it did when you got in, even though not much time has passed. And when people get out, the bus driver says, "Be careful now," which they weren't doing a few stops back.
So I guess we have arrived.
Well, you're in the region. After the bus goes a little further, and the streets are narrower now. It's no longer these city avenues that can go across bridges. Now the bus has to go around corners, and it's a tighter region. And finally, the bus stops, and it just stops for a moment. Nothing happens. The doors don't open. And the only person on the bus besides you is the spider guy, or the man with the newspaper, excuse me. And but nothing seems to happen until the driver turns around. It's not a very sophisticated bus. They actually have to lean out of their chair and turn around to look backwards. And the woman does this and turns around and says, "Are you sure you want to get off here?"
Yes. This is the right direction. Yes. No issues.
She kind of like says, "Okay," takes all kinds, which in English means you never know what people are going to do. I mean, weirdos. So the two of you will stand and get off the bus, and I'm asking, what do you do, and what roles you may care to make as you look about and see, dull windows and neon lettering in some of the windows in dubious colors not found in nature.
You said the two of us got out? Did the newspaper guy stay in, or
Make
did...
an instinct check.
Okay. That's him. Mhm. Okay, so I have a minus.
So you will roll
there,
4
apparently.
dice, and
Yeah.
you will take the worst 3. Take away the top die and count the rest.
Oh, that sucks because it was 6.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have a 9.
Okay. In this case, he must have stayed on the bus. I mean, the door opened, you got out. Somebody must have been right with you if they were going to get out. Certainly. No one was
Yeah.
there,
I mean,
so,
like we
right.
are here. We
Mhm.
don't, or I don't
Mhm.
see,
And now
see the
add
newspaper.
9 to your heart rate, and add 7 to your challenge points. Yeah, I'm kind of remembering this system now. Okay, now, as you are looking about, you can even see a row, after you walk around a little, you can even see a row of motorcycles in front of an establishment, which doesn't quite have, black smoke coming out of it. Doesn't quite, there's no sound of breaking glass. But it has kind of an atmosphere that those things could happen. So it's a ground level bar. There's anonymous function of the levels of the building above the bar. Who knows, what those are. And the as I say, it's not very flashy. I mean, the street lights are dim. In the night is dark. This bar, maybe there's kind of a thumping that could be music, maybe. And as I say, a row of motorcycles outside.
I'm starting to have second thoughts.
Oh, fantastic! I have a clear image, like in
Oh,
mind,
perfect.
and this this looks so good. Yeah.
Oh no, Hannah
Yeah.
feels at home. Great.
Yeah. No,
Okay.
I don't know. Like probably not really.
So what do your
I'd
characters
say
do?
depends on the music. Want to check out the band, or rather the
Yeah.
box?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, and the local motorcycle club, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It sounds good.
So,
I think is it like, is the motorcycle something like we know that the bad guy is
right? Yes. The
connected
talent
to?
role. The talent role was not fantastic. It was enough so that you were thinking, well, where do people of his demeanor go, and what? So it's not that he's specifically a motorcycle enthusiast.
Okay,
It's
yeah.
just
So
that this
we,
looks like a social spot, and nowhere else looks like a social spot.
yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine. We can make
We
assumptions,
go
I guess.
socialize.
Yeah.
Okay. In that case,
Yeah, no, sounds good.
In that case, I would suggest that if you're going into this bar, there are several things to know. First, it's mostly just tables and support beams, pillars. And it also has, the bar is kind of a small bar. It's not like a huge 2-wall fancy bar. It's just again, it's part of one wall, and probably doesn't have a lot of options. And that there is no band playing, but there is an old jukebox. And it doesn't really seem to be working very well, because all you get is this occasional bass thumping out of it, and kind of some ambient noise. It's thick with smoke, but not curiously, you don't smell cigarette smoke. It's just smoky in kind of a not particularly scented way. Um, the person behind the bar is one of these very anonymous looking people. Looks like a bartender in an old movie that has no lines in the movie. Right, it's very anonymous looking. And the people in the bar seem to have a talent for sitting in the darkest and smokiest spots. There is some rooms toward the back, and there is notably a telephone box in the wall, set to the wall. So you don't stand inside it. It's not like a little telephone booth, but there is a telephone there set into the wall that you could make phone calls from.